Okay. So tonight's training or whatever is like a little bit different because it's not so much focused on like what you can do for your Scentsy business, but more so focused on like personal development and like mindset stuff. So I wanted to share this book, and I know this sounds like super cliche or whatever, but like I want to share this book that literally changed my life. So it's called The Miracle Morning. And I have never been a morning person. I've always envied here. I'll hold it up again. The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. He's awesome. He's super cool. He has a podcast too. But so, and I don't want to like give too much detail away, but like he almost died and then, didn't. And like, I think a couple times he had like some crazy things happening to him and survived those things. And then now is like a motivational speaker and all that stuff. But it literally changed my life because I am not a morning person by any means at all. Like I love to sleep. But when I started implementing his like practices or whatever, I started to become like addicted to it because I could tell a change in like the way that my day went, my mood, the way that I was able to handle things, and like just the flow that I had throughout the day was like so much better. My motivation was better, my energy was better, all that. But I started small because it was all brand new to me. So I started by waking up like 15 minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier. And now, normally, like, especially pre-pandemic days, I was waking up by 4 o'clock in the morning by choice. Like, I wanted to, even though I'm not a morning person and I love my sleep. But it was like that time in the morning was so sacred. And it still is. Like, if I don't do my morning routine, I get in a funk. So that it became so sacred to me that it was worth it to like not get that extra, half hour of snoozing and then waking up and then snoozing and waking up. Like it was worth it for me to not do that so that I could get more time doing the things that like made my day so much better than if I wouldn't have done those things. So I have like some notes that I want to make sure I go through because he has this term called savers. It's like an acronym that he put together to kind of focus on the things that, matter the most within this miracle morning that he kind of talks about. So in savers, the S is for silence. So, like sit in intentional silence. For me, that specifically didn't work because my mind goes crazy. So what I started to do and what I still do to this day is I would get on YouTube and I would just search for guided meditation. So like, and to this day now, like let's say I'm feeling anxious or if I'm feeling like good and vibrant and whatever, and I want something that's more of like a manifesting kind of thing or abundance kind of meditation or something like that, like that's what I cater it to. So I'll literally get on YouTube and type in, what, depending on how much time I have, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, however many minutes. And then I'll put in manifesting meditation or soothing meditation or anxiety meditation and, whatever. And then I've started like a list on my YouTube that's private to me. So I can go through that and I'll save ones that I really like after doing them. So that way I know I can pull from those and not have to search every single time. So, and then of course, the most important thing as far as like the silence part of things go is to focus on your breathing because it's something that like we just don't think of day to day and all throughout the day and whatever, but like your breathing is so important. If you have like shallow breathing or like heavy breathing or whatever, like that is going to trigger responses in your body that you might not want to be triggering as far as like anxiety goes, or just like kind of making like your body is so connected. And it was hard for me to ever realize that before I started doing those things. And so now I've learned, like, even when I can't go to sleep at night, I've learned like a technique that works for me is if I just focus on my breath and I'll count like breathing in for 4 seconds and then breathing out for 4 seconds. And I just do that over and over. And if I start thinking about things, like that's fine. But then I come back to my breathing and my counting. And literally it works every single time. I fall asleep within like 3 minutes. So we really take for granted the way that our connection with our breathing can really impact our lives. So for me, that's what the silence part is like the most important thing. And then of course we are always like in this tense state. So like I always try to remind myself, and you guys might be doing it right now in this moment, but like push your shoulders down, like push your shoulders down and remove your tongue from the top of your mouth. Like it, because we clench and we tense. And so like just sitting in a position where you're not doing that and you're just focusing on your breathing really makes such a difference. It's crazy, but it does. Like I swear by it. So that's the S. The S is silence. The A is affirmations. So you speak to yourself more than you speak to anybody else in this life, more than anybody you will ever speak to in your life. And you hear yourself more than anybody else you will ever hear in your life. So the words that you say to yourself are the most important things that you could like possibly speak, you know? So you need to like be mindful of that. And for me, I grew up like the black sheep in my family, and I grew up with this like feeling of like unworthiness and not being enough. So those are things that I personally try to focus on when I like do my affirmations, whether I write them down or sometimes I'll do a meditation that has affirmations within it. So it's like, you know, both things, or sometimes I'll speak them out loud. Like, so, you know, I'll focus on things that help me build up my confidence and my self-worth and whatever it is, depending on how like what my mood is that day. But I am such a firm believer that you speak what you want, or you speak things into existence before anything was, whatever it is, like before these computers were what they are, like they were somebody's thought. Somebody thought to create what we are using right now. Like somebody thought about the internet, somebody thought about a laptop, somebody thought about the things behind me. Like it's somebody thought about a sweatshirt and then like created it. So you have to be so mindful of your thoughts and what you're thinking and what you're telling yourself. And I feel like that's where affirmations really kind of come into play, because your brain is going to believe whatever it is that you tell it. Like if you wake up very tired and you tell yourself that you're tired all day long, you're going to feel lethargic all day long. But if you kind of try to switch that a little bit and like lie to yourself, your brain starts to believe that, because that's just what your brain does. It believes whatever you tell it. So if you're telling yourself nasty things all day, like that's not good, because then you're going to speak that into existence and you're going to speak it into your body, and that's not healthy. So that's the A, affirmations. The V is this is a hard word for me to say. You know how like everybody has like hard words for them to pronounce. This is one of them. Like molecule is a hard word for me to say. Visualization is a hard word for me to say. But the whole point in this is to imagine exactly what you want to achieve, or whether that's like in that day, like this is how I want the day to go, or like long term. And like sit in that, like literally close your eyes and see your day going about however it is that you want it to go about. See your year going about however it is that you want it to go about. See your goals coming to fruition. And like sit in that, sit in the feelings of literally what it would feel like for those things to have already happened, or for you to be living within those things. And this is something that I kind of incorporate in, like me personally, I kind of incorporate in my meditations, because it's just like easier for me to get in the zone and then think like that, because that's when I can like really feel that kind of energy and it feels like real to me. And I know that Jim Carrey has shared multiple times on different channels that this is the practice that he did every single day until he built up his career. Like he wrote a $10 million check to himself even, and like kept it in his wallet for a while. And he, was living in LA or whatever. And he would go to like the top of the canyons or whatever, and just like look out over the city and just visualize himself being what he is today, and like visualize that check really like manifesting. And then it was like Dumb and Dumber that he made, it was either 10 or 11 million dollars. And like that's just so crazy because he really, like it's true, like it really is true. You just have to believe it, and you have to do the things, and you have to like get your energy level there, because this world is made of energy. And so it really just matters what kind of energy levels you're letting yourself reach. So that's a big one. So that's the V. The E is exercise. So move your body. For me, I had to start small because I hate exercising. I do it because I know that I have to be healthy, and I know, and I like the way that I feel after I accomplish something, especially something that I didn't want to do, but I know it was good for me. And then of course the endorphin thing. So, but when I first started doing these, I would just do like, 60 jumping jacks, and like I would do an increment, like, so 20 jumping jacks, 10 push-ups, and then 10 squats. And I would do that like 3 times, and it took like 5 minutes. So, I would start small. I didn't do, now I do P90X3, and like that's way a lot more intense. But it took me a while to get there. And the days that I don't feel like doing P90X3, but I know I need to move my body, I'll get on YouTube and I'll just type in like 10-minute yoga, or whatever, something that feels right to me in the moment, but to where at least I'm moving my body and like getting my body just doing things that it wouldn't be doing if I was laying in bed an extra 10 minutes. So that's the E. And then the R is for reading. So of course, reading other people's positive thoughts and wisdom, like in a book, not on your phone. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. So like I try to, like, I do not get on any kind of social media until I am at work. Like I do not get on social media before I do like all of this. So when I'm at home, I'm not on social media. Yeah, I get on YouTube, and I use certain apps because I have an affirmation app that I use in the morning, and I do stuff like that. And sometimes I'll check my email just because I also have like other affirmation things sent to my email. But I do not get on Facebook. I do not get on Instagram. I don't get on any of those things until after I've completed my morning routine, because I've learned that by doing that, I then get in reactive mode instead of proactive mode. So like everything that I'm talking about now puts me and will put you in a proactive mode. And then if you get on social media and you're reacting to all of these comments and notifications, and then something you see on your news feed that like really just hit your gut and like really upset you, now your day is like not going smoothly. So I just don't even do that. I use my phone for my alarm, for my my one affirmation when I wake up. Sometimes I'll check the weather a little bit. And then I usually try to use my laptop for YouTube and stuff like that. But if I can't, then I will use my phone for that. But I only use my YouTube for, finding meditations and stuff like that. So I'm very, very, very strict about not getting on social media until I do all of these things. So that's besides the point. So the reading thing, so anyways, yeah, reading other people's positive thoughts and wisdom will improve yourself while sharpening your mind and your skills. So when I first started, I would read, I have like personal development books all around. So I would, depending on the time that I had, I would read a page, or I would read a paragraph or whatever. Now I do Audible while I'm getting ready. So, cause it's just easier for me, but I would do those things with personal development books. And actually now that I'm even talking about it, like I kind of want to grab one out tonight, just so like even literally just reading a paragraph of one of the good books that I know that I have in there that I'm not going to purchase on Audible. It's just a different way to absorb wisdom and like positivity, as long as it's like not a fiction book and whatever. So, and yeah, I have in my notes, don't spend this time reading fiction, read something that is going to benefit you in the long run, some kind of personal development book. So that's the R, reading. And then the last one is S, again, scribe. So write. So journal, whether that means like journaling your thoughts or preparing for the day, planning for the day, setting your intentions, like writing them down. Like you know, I intend to create joy throughout the day, regardless of whatever circumstances come my way, or I intend to stay focused throughout whatever is planned through the day, or I intend to be present with each task that I have throughout the day, from like work back to family, those kind of things. So writing those things down, writing down your goals, writing down what you're grateful for. That's a huge thing. Like write down 3 things that you're grateful for in the morning, just to kind of set the tone for your day, or write down an affirmation. So that's the savers thing that I learned from this book. So silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribe. So that is how I started. But for me now, because I want to share with you guys what I do personally. And like I said, I started doing this, like I set my alarm 15 minutes earlier. And I worked my way up now to where I prefer at least an hour of time, like at least an hour earlier than I would wake up if I wasn't doing all this. And that's because I try to do 30 minutes of workout, and then at least 15 of meditating, and then 15 of kind of like journaling. So yeah, so the way that I kind of flip-flopped things, I don't go in that order. I learned, for me personally, and I feel like this might be good for everybody to kind of do because it just knocks it out of the way, but do whatever it is that's hardest for you out of those things, do that first. Like get that out of the way. So for me, it's exercising. So I wake up before my brain is even like fully there and trying to talk myself out of it, because I do try to talk myself out of it every morning. I exercise first. And then, like I said, I do so depending on how sweaty I get, I'll either exercise and then go shower, or I like to take baths, so I'll go take a bath, and then I'll come back and I'll meditate. And then after I meditate and I'm in like a better state of mind, I have this journal, which is actually I'm only a couple. I think I have like a couple more pages and that's it. So I'm gonna have to get a different one. But this is Rachel Hollis Start Today journal. You can use any kind of journal you want, but in here, what I do every day, like what the setup is in this journal is today I'm grateful for, and it's 5 things, and then 10 dreams I made happen. So what I do is I have my 10 dreams, but I write it down as in, these things already exist. So one of my things is I own my dream home, because I want to own my home. So I write it down as if I already did. So, and then the goal that I'm going to achieve first. So that's how this journal set up. I try to do this every day. Of course there's going to be days where you can't do all the things, but at least if you can try it, as long as you do it more days than days that you don't. Like for me, that's my goal. I try to do it more days than I don't do it. So for me, the hardest thing is first exercise, meditate, and then I visualize sometimes within those meditations, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. Like if I need to kind of just soothe myself and just focus on breathing, then I'm not gonna do any kind of visualizing the future or whatever. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just focus on breathing. And then I journal and I do my affirmations, because those are also affirmations, like speaking what I want into existence or whatever. And then on my commute to work is when I listen to Audible. Well, actually that's a lie. I mean, that's not a lie. But before that, when I'm getting ready and like doing my makeup and stuff before I wake Maya up, I put Audible on, or I'll listen to a podcast, which is kind of similar because I'm still they're all like personal development podcasts and stuff. So, I'm still gaining that knowledge and that wisdom. And I listen to that instead of music. So I used to always listen to music, and it's like, well, that doesn't really bring me any value. And so now I listen to things that bring me value in the morning at least. So that's how I do my stuff. What I've learned, like the 2 most important things out of everything that I just said. So you already know the things that you need to do, but as far as implementing those things, there's two 2 rules that you need to keep in mind. Only 2 rules. The first rule is to schedule it. Know when you're going to wake up. Like, set your alarm, write it down. Like, on my mirror in my bathroom right now, I have in dry erase marker, I have in caps, like, non-negotiables. And then underneath that, it says, wake up at 4 a.m. on weekdays. So, like, that is my non-negotiable. That is me scheduling it into my life. Like, on weekdays, I'm going to wake up within that 4 o'clock hour. So I'm going to try to wake up at 4. If I don't get out of bed until 4:30, okay, but it's gonna happen. Like, that is, there's no negotiating that. That's going to happen. So I schedule that. And then the second rule is to just show up, no matter how you're feeling. Even if you don't want to do the things, like, whatever, you just show up. So you schedule it, and then you show up, and then you can do whatever it is that you're going to do. But as long as you're scheduling it on your calendar and you're showing up for it, that's like literally the hardest part of the battle. But you just have to know what it is that you're going to do and what you want to do, and your reasoning behind wanting to do it. And it's, for me personally, it was difficult in the beginning because it's hard. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. These aren't things that we were like taught in school. These aren't things that we were taught by our parents, most likely. These are things I'm going to try to teach Amaya, but like, these aren't things that society teaches us. It's like we have to rewire our brain to do these things. But I swear I know that if you do these things every single day, at least during the weekdays, like 5 days out of the 7-day week for 3 weeks minimum, give yourself that minimum, you're gonna like become addicted to it in a very healthy way, like a very healthy addiction. And that's the part that I'm excited to hear about. So my challenge for you guys is to pick at least like 3 out of those, what are they, 7, say SAVERS, 6 savers. Choose like at least 3 that speak to you, or do all of them and just do 2 minutes each, just do 3 minutes each, and then build yourself up. And then once you kind of have that core foundation, then you can kind of cater it to whatever makes most sense for you, kind of like I did. Like, I know that if I wake up and I meditate first, I am not going to be in the mood to exercise. Like, I'm going to not do that. But if I wake up and I just throw on workout clothes and I just go work out, like, that's out of the way, and then I can calm my body down. So you have to kind of figure out what works for you. But my challenge for you guys is to do that. Like, so today's Thursday. I challenge you guys to start. If you don't start tomorrow, which I suggest you waking up like 10 minutes earlier tomorrow and doing it like before the kids are up, or whatever, and doing even just a minute each, like 1 minute. And then on Monday, like really giving it a go, like really starting on Monday, and share within our team page like how it's working out for you guys. Or like, sometimes what I'll do if it's like 5 a.m. and I feel like it, because like I said, I don't like doing social media early, but if I feel okay doing it where I can post it without checking other things, I'll take a picture of me, doing yoga at 5 a.m, or me like doing my stuff like super early in the morning, because I want other people, our Scentsy business is all about sharing who we are and what we do. So I like to share those things because I think that probably intrigues people, or at least the right people for my business. Somebody that sees that and they're like, oh, wow, she does that in the morning. Like, I kind of want to do that. I want to be able to have the willpower to do that in the morning, or something like that. Or I also do that in the morning, and there's a connection. So like, share those things, because not only beyond that, but it's something to be proud of. Like, not everybody does this kind of stuff. So that's why this isn't like, a book. It's not 50 Shades of Grey that movies are made of, but it's life changing. So that's what I got, and I kept it short, and I'm happy because I wanted to keep it short. I didn't want to ramble on like I tend to do. I'm going to turn off the recording.